Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Eric, KJ4YZI, and you just tuned into HamRadioConcepts. Make sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, and go to HamRadioConcepts.com and join the newsletter so that you can win antennas like I have on my back in future giveaways. Now check this out. Everybody in ham radio is always about, oh man, I'm portable. I have all this stuff that's portable and I can sustain communications on HF and VHF, UHF when I'm out in the field with minimal space and easy setup. I want you to take a look at what's on my back right here. In my backpack, on my back right now, is the Chameleon backpack with tons of Chameleon antennas. And looking at this backpack, I want you to know something. I can set up anything in my backyard or in the middle of a desert in this backpack, such as a vertical, a horizontal, an end-fed, a sloper, an inverted L, a ground-mounted vertical, a delta loop, and so much more right out of this backpack. Chameleon antennas, I think, has turned me away from any other portable antenna ever again, because the construction made 99% in the USA and the way that this modular antenna system in my backpack works, why would I choose anything else? So in this video, we're gonna check out the expansion that Chameleon just sent me to this MPass 2.0 kit, which is the tactical delta loop. Now I want you to see something in this video that I can set up a delta loop that will do 80 to 6 meters right here, with no trees involved. Or I can set up an end-fed or a sloper, or I can make it a vertical. But today we're focusing on the delta loop, 80 through 6 meters, and this is the expansion to the MPass 2.0. Remember, the MPass 2.0 comes as a kit which allows you a modular portable antenna system that allows you to set up multiple different HF configurations based on the propagation and pattern that you want to have and the conditions that you're working with. Do you want to stick it in the ground? Maybe it's full of ice and you need to hang it from a tree. Maybe you got a tripod that's portable. It all happens out of this backpack. So we're going to make a playlist now on this YouTube, and we're going to show you all the antennas that I've reviewed in the past and what I'm going to follow up with. But in the meantime, let's check out right now the Chameleon Tactical Delta Loop on HamRadioConcepts. All right, so the Tactical Delta Loop consists of, for full operation, a spike mount, the hub adapter, okay, the hybrid micro right here, 2 of the stainless steel 17-foot whips, telescopic, and 25 feet of PTFE Kevlar wire with alligator clips that goes across the 2 ends of this antenna, like a triangle, an inverted triangle with the feed point at the bottom. All right. Now this can be ground mounted into the ground. We're going to show you this in a video. I mounted it on the ground and I mounted it on the child mill extension to get it up 15 feet. And the SWR changes up and down depending on the band and the position of this delta loop. Now what I want to tell you is this. You may be looking at like, wow, do I get all this for $100? No. Okay. So the delta loop that I have is the expansion. They sell it 2 ways. They sell it as an expansion to the original MPass 2.0 kit, which I have here. And basically, if I have the MPass 2.0, I already have the micro hybrid. I already have the spike mount. I already have 25 feet of wire for the counterpoise. But if you have an MPass, and I already have the coax with the ferrule on there, okay? So they make it easy. You want an expansion? Cool. What you're going to get with the expansion is the hub kit with the 25 foot of wire, okay? And if you have a stainless steel whip already, depending on your version of MPass, if you have the MPass Lite, which has this, or you're in that little crazy time where they had manufacturing issues with COVID and all that stuff and a lot of increased orders and they couldn't keep up, maybe you got one of these until they came out and sent you one of these. You know, this is the original, the shock cord style expansion or shock cord military extension in here. Then you have the topper for the extension. Can't think of what I call it right now. So it depends on what you have. This is what you need to know. If you want the delta loop expansion, do you have any of these? And if you don't, they sell them extra. I was giving these away. Chameleon was giving these away at our HamFest as telescopic whips, and people do a lot of stuff with these. Believe me, they make horizontal dipoles, and for this sake, this telescopic whip is going to be out full for the tactical delta loop. But the MFJ version I used before, which is, I think these are better made, you could actually adjust these for resonance based on the band. If you wanted it, for 20 meters or whatever, just on the way it is on the spike mount with the hybrid micro, you can trim the SWR of this to make it a mono band telescopic whip. But for the delta loop situation that I have here, it's going to be consisting of the hybrid micro, 2 telescopic whips, the hub, the spike, and the 25-foot PTFE with Kevlar with the alligator clips. And funny enough, the alligator clips on the end, they like fit perfect. I guess they machined this telescopic whip on the end so that these things fit perfect like this. They fit absolutely perfect on there. I guess they cut that line in there for that reason. So we're going to show you what it looks like assembled outside. The links are all in the description. And I'm going to show you SWR on my analyzer, the Rig Expert analyzer. And what you don't know is before I'm going to do some FT8 trial with this antenna in the backyard, up on the child mill extension and directly mounted on the ground. And we're going to see what PSK reporter shows at 5 watts with this on 20 meters and 17 meters, and see what the difference is having it elevated versus not having it elevated. And with me and the wife out back by the pool just playing before I started this video, I did make 3 contacts. Vancouver, Canada. I made 1 in Tennessee, and I made 1 in South America. All 3 on that delta loop, but I was using 10 watts on my 705 with my Bio-NO battery. 10 watts, and it wasn't hard. There was a contest going this weekend, and so I made those reports real quick, and they said I had really good signal, so the bands are always there. Let's check out this delta loop, the way it's set up outside, and do some testing on it. So here I have it on the CHA spike mount with the mill extension from the MPass 2.0 kit, and I have the hub kit mounted on top of that. So it's elevated about, I don't know, 10 feet, 15 feet in the air. And I wouldn't recommend it, a little bit flimsy. I wouldn't recommend putting this on this, but I want to get it above the ground a little bit. And I'm not sure if the metal roof on the shed is going to react with it. And so we're gonna give it an SWR test like this and see a little bit of performance on this thing mounted like this. Then we'll put it on the ground and we'll test it ground mounted on that same spike without the mill extension right there. So today I'm using the Rig Expert AA650 zoom. Videos on these on my channel as well. And I'm going to use this while this is elevated on the CHA military extension that is on the spike mount, so it's up about 15 feet in the air. And what I've noticed is the SWR, I'll show you up in the air and then on the ground, the SWR changes for some bands. However, like 17 meters will go really good at like 1.1 to 1 while it's up in the air 15 feet on that military extension for my MPass, whereas some bands will go over 2 to 1 when it's on the ground. So you have to see your operating conditions and your needs or bands, what you think will be best for you. Ideally, I don't think it was designed to be put on that extension because that's quite a bit of wind load in the air, but I figured because I have it with my MPass, I might as well use it. So I'm going to go to SWR meter, okay, and I'm going to first go to 80 meters. So we'll go frequency, we'll go 0, 0, we'll go in the middle. So let's see, 3.7, I guess. Somewhere between right under 75 meters. We'll hit start. 3.1. So you would need a tuner with that. And now we'll show you the difference of that when it's on the ground. You might need a tuner for that. But let's go to 40 meters. We'll go right in the middle somewhere. How about 150? Right in the middle. Start. 1.28 to 1 on 40 meters. Not bad. Not bad at all. We'll go to 30 meters. 1.89 to 1, not bad again. You could use that without a tuner, sure. go to 14. We'll do 200. I'll just go right there. Extra portion, but sort of in the middle. 2.3 to 1. So I just did that right there on 2.3 to 1 with FT8. So that we'll see how a 2.3 to 1 SWR works on FT8 for the PSK reporter when I see what I'll do at 5 watts. But might need a tuner for that. Okay. And we'll go to 17 meters. In the middle somewhere. 1.13 to 1. Very flat on 17 meters when it's up in the air. We'll do 15 meters. Right in the middle somewhere. 1.72 to 1. Not bad. Not bad at all. 12 meters. Right in the middle. 2.3 to 1. Might need a tuner for that if it's up in the air. And we'll go to, you know what? People always ask, man. CB radio. How about this? We'll do sideband portion right there. 2.4 to 1 on CB on 11 meters. Not bad. And then we'll do 20 meters. I'm sorry, 10 meters. We'll go 400 right at the calling frequency. 2.3, but how about in the FM portion? Right on the FM repeater in New York. 2.3. And 6 meters. 1.84 to 1 on 6 meters. Now that is elevated above the ground. A small portable tuner, or if you're at home, you know, having a tuner in your radio, will definitely, a 7300 tuner will pick that up, no problem. A tuner in like a FTDX 101, pick that up, no problem. I'm geared more for this being portable, this antenna, in my MPass kit. So, or HOA, if you're in an HOA, you have a 7300 or something modern that has an internal tuner, it'll clean it up right there. Or your radio will not see a reflected power. But if you have a small pocket tuner or something for a 705 here, definitely usable in here. I don't think anything besides 80 meters or 75 meters is above 3 to 1. So your tuner should pick it up quite well. So here it is mounted on the actual spike for my MPass, and ground mounted, we're going to check that between, you know, the SWR between this and elevated on the extension. Now, this reminds me or makes me feel for people with HOAs, right? If you have an HOA and you have a backyard, you can just kind of throw this thing up. I don't think anybody's going to say anything. You know, you got a fence, you throw it up for the day. Yeah, you're testing something. You're playing with fishing poles, whatever you want to tell them. To set that up on the spike mount and with the, you know, little hybrid micro. And if you have a soft enough ground for the spike, you can kind of just look. You turn this like this, see? It's got a little bit of directivity broadside of the delta loop. Now we're going to check the SWR with it on the ground here versus how it was elevated on that mast. I'm going to say when it's elevated on the mast like it was, it's not going to be, it's going to be a little, you know, flimsy with the wind load up there, but let's see what this looks like on the analyzer with it ground mounted like this, but pretty cool delta loop. Okay, we're going to look at the SWR now through those bands again with it ground mounted. So we'll go SWR meter. We'll start again at 003700, enter. Still about a 3 to 1 with it ground mounted. How about 40 meters? $1.85 to 1. So it went up a little bit, if I remember, on 40 meters. $1.27 to 1 at 30 meters, so it went down being ground mounted on 30 meters. $1.65, so it went down on 20 meters as well. Went up a little bit, 1.29 to 1 on 17 meters, but still very usable without a tuner right there. It was 1.13 to 1 with it elevated, and it went 1.3 with it on the ground. 1.65 to 1 on 15 meters. $12 meters went way down, 1.36 to 1 in the middle of 12 meters, so it's better on the ground at 12 meters. And on 10 meters, 1.55 to 1. How about the FM portion? 0.29620. That's 1.65 to 1, so usable on FM 10 meters. We forgot CB, 27.385. 1.39 to 1 on 38 lower sideband, where all the sideband action is, and the DX on 11 meters. How about 6 meters? 130, enter. 1.56, so not bad. If you had a tuner for a couple like 80 meters or some other ones, but it seems that the SWR is better across the bands with it mounted on the ground than it is mounted on the air on that expansion, CHA extension. So just with 5 watts on this ICOM 705 with the Delta loop elevated on the military extension, I just popped on here, made 1 contact on FT8. And the reason I'm using FT8 to test this thing is, I guess that's what a lot of people do. They go to PSK Reporter and they see where your signal was heard, you know, where a station has picked you up, you know, a little bit South America, but mostly right here, the way it's oriented. And if I look out the window right now, it's oriented about east and west. So that's up about 10, 15 feet. And at 5 watts, all these stations just with 1 transmission on FT8 or 1 contact heard KJ4YZI right here at those signal levels, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and if you look here, go down here, the stations are still coming in. Look at the receive here with the FT8. A lot of stations on FT8. On this is 17 meters. So I could test this right now on 20 meters, and we'll see what this thing does. I just picked 17 meters just because, but there's a lot of activity on 17. Now, when I switched to 20 meters, I put it on, made 1 contact. Now, I'm not much of a big FT8 fan, but I'm just using this at 5 watts, no battery plugged in for the 10 watts and the 705. It's just the 5 watts. And made 1 contact here. There's the received signals here. And if I go to PSK Reporter, now on 20 meters, you can see signals received, what signals have received me on 20 meters. So at 5 watts, it looked like at least I'm covering, you know, a portion of the half of the United States. At 10 watts, or maybe, you know, turning it for directionality may give me a little bit of a better, you know, advantage. Or I could try a whole bunch of different bands, but you get the idea. At 5 watts, this thing is outputting, with the SWR being just less than 2 to 1, or just at 2 to 1 with no tuner involved on 20 meters. So now at 20 meters with this antenna ground mounted, I threw a couple of calls out. It didn't make any, nobody responded on FT8. And it looks like I have a little bit less coverage here, or stations that received me on 20 meters. If I go like this, watch. If I go last hour, watch how it populates more here on 20 from the last time I did it when it was elevated. See? A lot more stations heard me here when it was elevated. So I'm going to say that, you know, then again, I got a shed with a metal roof. I got the concrete house. Out in the middle of a field, that might not be a deciding factor. But where I'm at in the backyard, I might be, you know, it got me above the house, above the shed. So if you look at this from when I had it elevated, and then you look at this on the ground, that's the difference. But still, at 5 watts, now with an SWR of like 1.3 to 1 on 20 meters with it being on the ground. So all in all, I think it's quite a fascinating antenna for me to add to my kit. Since well, of course, everybody doesn't know that I'm back yet in a new house, so you got to go to HamRadioConcepts.com, click on the newsletter, subscribe to the newsletter so you get alerts when I make videos like this, and Chameleon is going to do some giveaways, and I'm pulling all the winners from the people that are subscribed to my email news list. Very simple. But what I also have, you know, in this MPass quickly, in this bag here, is, look, I got to check this out now. They sent me the lightweight end-fed sloper, and I also have the double fan dipole for 20 and 40 meters. I used at field day. That's what I used exclusively at field day. No tuner required for that. I also have my EMCOMM 3, or EMCOMM 3 portable. They make an EMCOMM 3 base. That's an awesome antenna right here. Look at this. I have, for my MPass, the VHF and UHF add-on kit, horizontal or vertical, so you can deploy APRS in the field. You can deploy 2-meter sideband, UHF, hit local repeaters or distant repeaters. What else do I got in here? I kind of forgot. I like forgetting because it's like opening little toys, you know. And then we got, so this is the mill extension here, right? That's for popping all it up. Oh, you know what I don't have in here? I'll tell you what I don't have. Right. So for the MPass, if you haven't seen the original video, you may be new to this. You can also set this MPass up, modular portable antenna system, like 6 different ways. So you could take this right here, okay, stick it in the ground, and then you can run with the little carabiner attachment here, run the wire up to a tree. You have a ground-mounted sloper end fed. You can make it an inverted V. You could take this off, use this for one end of the stake, hang this in a tree with the little other part that's in the other bag, hang this feed point from a tree, make it inverted V. You can make it an L. You can feed this in the corner. You can feed it on the bottom. L, up, over. You can do a lot of things with this. This has about 20 different configurations right now. What I didn't tell you also is the hub kit allows you to, not the hub kit, but just if you wanted just a simple vertical like this, the telescopic whip with a micro allows you to just make a simple ground-mounted vertical, okay? So if you have the Delta Loop kit, you could just take one telescopic section, the hybrid micro, and the spike, and make it a vertical. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff. So check out the videos of other antennas like the EMCOMM 2 I'm going to check out. I'm giving those away. How about the F-Loop? I heard the F-Loop is, I made a video on that a couple years ago, and that's very, very popular, and they're having a hard time keeping orders in stock. So if you see an F-Loop for sale, pick it up. That's an awesome kit. But anyways, thanks to Chameleon for sending me some more stuff here. And more videos are underway. Check out the playlist. Check out HamRadioConcepts.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. Look for giveaways. Check out all the other videos. And 7.3, more video on the way. This is KJ4YZI.